Time to talk about the Olympus.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Fun shoe from Altra today. We're talking about the Altra Olympus 3.5. Because it's 0.5 better than the 3. So it's actually been a while since I've reviewed the Olympus. I believe my last review was of the Olympus 2.0. So since then, I think they've had a couple versions that have changed a little bit over time. This is Altra's max cushion shoe. So we have that same zero drop foot-shaped platform that we've come to know from Altra, but with a lot of cushioning, 33 millimeters to be exact. As far as where it sits in the Altra line, we've got the Superior with the lower stack height, the Lone Peak with a little bit more, the Timp with a little bit more, and finally the Olympus at that top tier. If you remember my review of the 2.0, I liked it, and I still like it. I think the 3.5 is a nice addition to the lineup, but it's not without its caveats. So is this heavy but rugged max cushion shoe from Altra your next big ultra distance training shoe? Let's find out. As always, we like to talk about the things we like and dislike about the shoes. Here is no exception. Let's start with the things that we like. My first like, the cushion. This is Altra's thickest, highest stack height shoe at 33 millimeters of midsole cushioning. The Olympus 3.5 can take you on those long runs with plenty of soft and yet responsive goodness. There's really good protection through this midsole as well. You're not going to feel all those jaggies, rocks, and technical terrain. Another thing I like about this midsole and the cushioning is that it doesn't seem to be wearing down as prematurely as some of the other Altra shoes that I've run in the past. I'm not getting that flattening out under the forefoot. It's a really nice balance of cushioning and responsiveness, bounce. The Olympus 3.5 does really good with its midsole. There's a lot of it, so it better do good. The shoe is obviously designed to go long, go far for those days where you're going to be out there for hours and hours on the trails, and it certainly lives up to that. It does exactly what it is designed to do, which is great. Feels good. Improved upper. So since 2.0, the last Olympus that I reviewed, the upper has changed pretty dramatically. You still have overlays sewed onto the mesh materials. The mesh is holding up better than I expected. I'm not getting any wear through that mesh materials, which I've seen in other Altra shoes in recent times. It's just holding up really well, quite durable. The upper is doing good things. And finally, outsole. So this is something that they've kept since version 2.0, and I'm glad because that was a huge transition for the shoe back then. They used to not have lugs on the outside of the Olympus, and it just made me question humanity. But they've since kept all of the Vibram outsole lugs along the perimeter of the shoe, and especially up here along the toe box, so you're getting that Vibram benefit. Nice little lugs to keep the grip on various surfaces, and then here through the middle, they're using that EVA with additional lugs that don't do much. Another benefit is that they're able to keep weight down by not having the Vibram throughout the outsole. It's a good design. I'm happy to see the various changes in the outsole over the years that help make it better. That being said, the Altra Olympus 3.5 is not all sushi and sake bombs. There are a couple of things that I dislike. First, fit. This shoe is really difficult to get right. I had the same problem in 2.0. It has not changed. This is kind of across the board with a lot of Altra shoes because of the additional volume in the shoes, being wider up here through the toe box and that foot-shaped design. That added volume just makes it difficult to get the shoe to lock down properly. So I have both a size 11 and size 10.5. I actually had to size down a half size in hopes that the shoe would fit my foot. But unfortunately, going down a half size brings the length of the shoe down shorter, so my toes are scraping up against the front, but going up to size 11, which is my normal size, I can't get the shoe locked down properly. The result is that in a straight line or on buffed out single track, I'm totally good to go. I can go hours and hours in this shoe and it just feels good. I'm not really running into much fitment issues and allows my foot to expand and swell on those longer runs and is still fairly comfortable. But anytime you take a turn, if the shoe isn't locked down properly, your foot will slide. And there's been multiple times where I've verbally expressed my disappointment in the shoe not properly locking down on a sharp turn or some sort of single track. No matter how tight you make the laces, your midfoot might be locked down, but your forefoot and your heel just will be sloppy. So yeah, it's an issue that I've had with a lot of Altras over the years. I've talked about it in every single review. I would be remiss if I didn't mention it here because in the Olympics, it's just been a big problem. Size, and I'm actually just referring to the actual space the shoe itself takes up. The heel with all of this midsole material up and around your ankle just adds a lot of weight here, keeping the balance of the shoe off by a good degree. 12.7 ounces in my size 11, is a heavy shoe. Listen, listen, if you're going for a long ultra, you need a soft cushion shoe that will allow your foot to have plenty of room for the toes to display. This is a great option. It's certainly easy to ignore a shoe that is this heavy, but I always like to make note of it. I wish they could lighten up some of that upper materials, maybe use a little bit less of the midsole around the ankle. But who am I? I don't design shoes. It's heavy. So expect that. And finally, price. It's $150. That's a higher end price point for an ultra shoe. I mentioned this many times, but anytime a shoe goes over $130, I have to question, what is it about that shoe that really makes it stand out? In this case, you're getting more midsole material, you're getting more cushioning for longer duration days, but it's a high price point to pay for that experience. And finally, I'll mention this as a dislike. It's again, just being super nitpicky, but I've mentioned it before in ultra shoes and I'll mention it again. The number of lace holes, there's 6 per side here. Lots of shoes have 6 or 7, but they allow you to have that ankle locked lace system up towards the top. So you can actually get a better fit. Would this shoe benefit from something like that? Maybe. It might actually help you lock down that ankle collar a bit more. But I've seen this from Ultra a lot where they don't have those additional holes along the top to get that ankle lock lacing system in place. It's not a deal killer, but it's certainly something, it's a bit of a pet peeve. I'll make note. It might not affect many of you. So in conclusion, where does the Olympus 3.5 fit in my lineup? Listen, if I have a long day out there, ultra distance, anything over 20 miles, the trails aren't gonna be super technical or flowing, this shoe is gonna be solid. It's gonna give you lots of cushion, plenty of grip if the weather turns south, plenty of space for your foot in there. You're not gonna get a lot of rubbing or impingements. This is the go long, spend multiple hours out there on the trails running type of shoe. If given the choice between the Olympus and the Timp, I tend to lean a little bit more towards the recent Timp, only for the additional ground feel that you get, but for days where I just want to forget what I'm running on and just go and plod, is a great choice. Let's get a little bit more specific. Build quality of the Olympus 3.5 is good. It's actually holding up much better than I anticipated. The mesh isn't fraying through. I'm not getting any breaks, seam splitting, or anything like that. So far the build quality is really good. There's just, massive amounts of midsole here along the heel, keeping the balance a little bit off. Comfort, yep, pretty much comfortable. That soft plush midsole is great. Just sucks your foot in. It does wear out and wear thin a little bit prematurely, but this is holding up better than the Timp, which was holding out better than the Lone Peak, which always holds out better than the Superior. So you're getting more midsole that will stay comfortable longer. Fit, it's not great. That's my biggest gripe with this shoe, is that I'm, I guess, between sizes, and it has been that way since version 2. It would be great if the shoe was a bit more forgiving, but because Ultras are more voluminous, I think you're just gonna find yourself between sizes. It's either gonna be big enough to accommodate your shoe, but you can't get it tight enough, or it's gonna be too small where your foot just suffers the consequences, but your lacing will be fine. Price at $150, that gives me the UGG meter. It's just, a little more expensive than I'd like for a shoe that doesn't fit properly, but is good for longer days. So I wish it was a little bit more affordable. And finally, looks. I actually don't mind this. I think this sort of blue-orange hue is fun, and they have other color versions that are also really great. I don't mind it. It certainly is gonna look big on your foot, and it can get kind of busy, but looks are subjective. I, for one, don't mind it. Nice job, Ultra. Which brings me to my final criteria. Is the Ultra Olympus 3.5 a buy, try, or a why? It's a solid try. This is one of those shoes that if you are looking to go long, if you're looking for your first Ultra shoe, or you want to run anything over 30 miles and you just need a shoe to last a long time and plod you through the miles comfortably, the Olympus 3.5 is a great option. And that are my thoughts on the Ultra Olympus 3.5. My question now goes to you. Have you run in any of the Ultra Olympus, specifically the 3.5? In the comments of this video, let me know what you think. Is this the type of shoe that you would use for ultras, marathons, trail fun? Let's get that dialogue started. If you want to find out more information or get a pair of the Olympus 3.5 for yourself, remember I have links to Running Warehouse in the description of this video. They are affiliate links, so not only does it cost you nothing, but it helps the channel. So it's a great way to support us without having to do anything. And that is it for today's review. If you liked it, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to this channel, and click that notification bell so you can find out every time we upload a new video. Social media links, that's where we do those things. So if you want to continue to support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/thegingerrunner for as little as $1 a month. You keep the lights on, the mic's hot, there's great perks, including discount codes to Running Warehouse and a whole bunch of different brands. Consider it if you have not already. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's review. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.